Every rise starts in struggle, but discipline turns the tide. Welcome to Rise Daily 10X. Hello, friend. Right now, somewhere in your city, someone is awake at 1 in the morning, eyes burning, trying to learn a new AI tool, finish a freelance project, reply to one more client message, and still somehow wake up for a 9 a.m. job tomorrow. Maybe they are also scrolling through 5 different job postings, wondering if their skills are already outdated. Maybe they have 3 side hustles running at once, a YouTube channel, a trading account, a freelance gig, and none of them are moving fast enough. Sound familiar? Maybe that someone is you.
We are living in a time that demands more hours from us than any generation before, and gives us less to show for it. You are working harder than your parents ever did. You have more tools, more courses, more hacks, more side hustles than anyone in history. And yet, you still feel like you are falling behind. The competition is no longer just the person sitting next to you in the office. It is an AI tool that does in 10 seconds what took you 10 hours. It is someone 5 years younger with 3 online courses and 0 fear. It is the entire world, online, all at once, all the time, reminding you every single day through your phone that someone else is moving faster than you.
So you grind, you wake up early, you sleep late, you stack one task on top of another, hoping that if you just push hard enough, long enough, you will finally break through. But somehow, no matter how many hours you put in, the results never seem to match the effort. Why does this keep happening? Why does working harder feel like running on a treadmill that never lets you actually move forward? If this feels like your life right now, stay with me till the end, because I am about to tell you a very old story that explains exactly why this is happening to you and what you can do differently starting today. First, let's understand the real problem. You think your problem is laziness. It isn't. You think your problem is that you don't work hard enough. It isn't that either. The real problem is this. You are swinging a dull axe and swinging it harder and harder and wondering why the tree refuses to fall. Working harder with the wrong approach does not fix the wrong approach. It only makes you more tired while the result stays exactly the same, week after week, year after year. Let me tell you about 2 woodcutters. Their names were Sam and John. The forest department had announced a contract that year. Whichever worker cleared the most trees in 7 days would win a full year's logging contract. A contract worth lakhs of rupees. The kind of opportunity that could change a family's life. Both Sam and John needed this badly. Both of them had families waiting at home. Debts to clear, dreams they had been postponing for years. On the morning of day 1, Sam arrived at the forest before sunrise. He picked up his axe, spat on his palms, and started swinging immediately. No warm-up, no plan, just raw force. He believed in one thing only: whoever works the hardest wins. By the time the sun was fully up, he had already brought down 3 trees. He was sweating, breathing heavy, but proud. This is what winning looks like, he thought. John arrived at the same time, but instead of picking up his axe and swinging, he sat down first. He took out a sharpening stone, and for almost 2 hours, he sat there, calmly running the stone along the edge of his blade. Sam saw this from a distance and laughed.
John, the contract is for 7 days, not 7 years. While you're sitting there polishing your axe, I have already finished 3 trees. At this rate, I will win before you even start. John said nothing. He simply kept sharpening, testing the edge against his thumb, adjusting the angle, taking his time.
By the end of day 1, Sam had cut down 9 trees. John had cut down 6. Sam went home that night feeling like a champion. John went home quietly, said little, and went to sleep early. Day 2 began the same way. Sam, already sore from the day before, pushed through the pain and kept swinging. His arms were heavier now, his grip weaker, but his mind told him the same thing it always had. Hard work conquers everything. John, on the other hand, started his day with another 20 minutes of sharpening before he touched a single tree. By the middle of day 2, something strange was happening. Sam's axe was not biting into the wood the way it had the day before. Each swing felt heavier, each cut shallower. He had to swing 2, sometimes 3 times for one clean strike should have done the job. He told himself it was just tiredness. He pushed harder. He swung faster. Sweat poured down his face. His shoulders burned. His palms began to blister.
John's axe, meanwhile, was gliding through the wood almost effortlessly. Clean strike, clean fall. He was not swinging faster than Sam. He was not swinging harder. But every single swing was accomplishing more. By the end of day 2, Sam had managed only 7 trees, fewer than the day before, despite working 2 extra hours. John had cut 8. Day 3. Day 4.
The pattern only deepened. Sam's blade had grown duller with every strike, every knot in the wood chipping away at its edge, and nobody had told him that an axe used without care slowly destroys itself. He was now spending more energy per tree than ever before and getting less result for it. His hands were bleeding through the bandages he had wrapped around them the night before. His back screamed every time he bent down. He started skipping his meals to save time, telling himself he could not afford to slow down, even for that. And still, in his mind, the only solution he could imagine was to push harder, swing faster, sleep less.
John kept his rhythm. Sharpen for a short while, cut with full focus. Pause briefly when the edge began to dull, even slightly, and sharpen again before continuing. He ate properly, rested when his body asked for it, and yet he was never behind. By day 5, Sam could barely lift his arms above his shoulders. He sat under a tree, staring at his swollen, blistered hands, and for the first time, doubt crept into his mind. Why was this happening? He was trying harder than anyone else in that forest. He had skipped meals, skipped sleep, ignored the pain, and still, the numbers did not lie. He looked across the clearing and saw John, calm, unhurried, steadily working through another tree with barely any visible strain. That evening, exhausted and humbled, Sam walked over to John's camp. He did not say anything for a while. Then, quietly, he asked the question he had been avoiding all week. "John, I wake up before you. I work later than you. I take fewer breaks than you. How are you still ahead of me?" John held up his axe and turned it so the blade caught the firelight. It gleamed, sharp and clean, almost untouched by the week's work. "Look at this," he said. "Then look at yours." Sam looked down at his own axe. The blade was chipped, dull, almost rounded at the edge from days of abuse. He had not sharpened it once since the contract began. Not once. John spoke gently. "You think the 7 days were only about cutting. I think the 7 days were about how well you cut. You believed that stopping to sharpen the axe was wasted time, time you could have spent swinging instead. But every hour I spent sharpening gave me back 3 hours in clean, effortless cutting. Every hour you spent refusing to stop cost you double, because a dull blade does not just cut slower, it makes you work harder for less, and it tires your body faster while your results shrink. You were not lazy this week, Sam. You were one of the hardest working men I have ever seen. But hard work pointed in the wrong direction does not multiply your results. It only multiplies your exhaustion." Sam sat in silence, turning his bleeding palms over in the firelight. "Then what should I have done?" "The same as me," John said. "Spend real time preparing before you act.
And here is the part most people miss completely. Preparation is not a one-time thing you do at the start and forget. The forest does not care how sharp your axe was on day one. It only cares how sharp it is on the swing you are making right now. That is why I sharpen again every few hours, not just once. The moment you think you are done preparing forever, your edge has already begun to dull, even if you cannot feel it yet.
That night, for the first time all week, Sam did not collapse straight into sleep. He sat by the fire, borrowed John's stone, and slowly, clumsily at first, began working the edge of his own axe. His hands were so blistered he could barely hold the stone steady, but he kept going, the way John had shown him, until the blade finally caught the firelight the same way John's had. The next morning, he swung it into the first tree with no extra effort at all, expecting the same dull resistance he had felt for 5 days straight. Instead, the blade sank clean through the wood in a single strike. He stood there for a moment, stunned, staring at the fallen tree and at his own hands, which for the first time that week were not shaking from strain.
By the end of day 7, the forest department tallied the results. John had cleared 41 trees that week. Sam, despite working nearly 2 extra hours every single day, had cleared 26. John won the contract. But that is not really the ending of the story. The real ending came 2 months later, when John, now running his own small logging crew, hired Sam as one of his workers. Sam no longer woke up before sunrise to swing wildly. He woke up, sharpened his blade first, and worked with a focus he had never known before. Within a year, he was running his own contract too, and he never went back to working with a dull blade again. So friend, what does this old story about 2 woodcutters have to do with you, sitting here in this very different, very fast-moving world?
Everything. Right now, you're being told from every direction that the answer to falling behind is to work harder, post more, hustle more, take on one more client, learn one more skill at midnight, sleep less, push more. And in a world changing this quickly, with AI tools reshaping entire industries every few months, with new platforms and new in-demand skills appearing overnight, this advice is more dangerous than ever. Because the moment you stop sharpening, your edge starts to dull, even if you do not notice it yet. The freelancer who learned one skill 3 years ago and never updated it is swinging a dull axe today, no matter how many hours they put in. The person grinding on 5 different side hustles with no clear strategy is swinging 5 dull axes at once. Even the investor who keeps trading on outdated information, refusing to update their approach as the market shifts, is sharpening nothing, just swinging harder at a market that no longer responds the same way it used to.
Before you swing harder tomorrow, ask yourself one honest question. Is my axe actually sharp? Or have I just been swinging out of fear, out of habit, out of the belief that stopping, even for a moment, means falling behind? Real preparation is not procrastination. Spending focused time learning the right tool before you build, researching the right approach before you launch, resting your body before you push it further, updating a skill that has gone stale. All of this is not wasted time. It is the very thing that makes every hour after it worth 10 times more. So here is what I want you to take from this story today. 1, a sharp axe swung with full focus will always outperform a dull axe swung with desperate effort. 2, preparation is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing habit because the world keeps moving and your edge keeps dulling whether you notice it or not. 3, the people who seem to be moving slower than you at the start are often the ones who finish stronger because they understood something you have not yet accepted, that how you work matters more than how long you work. You do not need to work 20 hours a day to win. You need to make sure that every hour you do work is sharp, focused, and aimed at the right target. Stop measuring your worth by your exhaustion. Start measuring it by your edge.
In a world moving this fast, the sharpest axe will always beat the tiredest arm. If this story gave you a new way to look at your own grind, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this today. Leave a comment and tell me, where in your life right now do you need to stop swinging and start sharpening? Share this with someone you know who is burning themselves out chasing results the hard way. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now so you never miss the next story. Thank you for watching. Now go sharpen your axe.